हेलो दोस्तों, SKI चैनल में आप सभी का स्वागत है। कृपया मेरे चैनल को लाइक कीजिए, अपने दोस्तों के साथ शेयर कीजिए और हाँ, सब्सक्राइब करना ना भूलें।
Science, Class 6, Chapter 10, Measure and Measurements of Distance. They are general discussion among the children in Paheli and Buzo class about the place that had visited during the summer vacation. Someone had gone to their native village by train, then a bus, and finally a bullock cart. One student had travelled by an aeroplane. Another spent many days of his holidays going on fishing trips in his uncle's boat. The teacher then asked them to read newspaper articles that mentioned about small wheeled vehicles that moved on the soil of Mars and conducted experiments. These vehicles were taken by spacecraft all the way to Mars. Meanwhile, Paheli had been reading stories about Asian India and wanted to know how people traveled from one place to another in earlier times. 10.1 Story of Transport. Long ago, people did not have any means of transport. They used to move only on foot and carry goods on their back. Later on, they began to use animals for transportation. For transportation through water routes, boats were used for ancient times to begin with. Boats were simple logs of wood in which a hollow cavity would be made. Later, people learned to put together different pieces of wood and give shapes to the boats. These shapes initiated the shapes of the animals living in water. Recall all of our discussions of this streamlined shape of the fish in chapter 8 and 9. Invention of the wheel made a great change in the mode of transportation. The design of the wheel was improved over thousands of years. Animals were used to pull carts that moved on wheels. Until the beginning of the 19th century, people still depended on the animals, boats, and ships to transport them from place to place. The invention of the steam engine led to the development of new means of transport. Railroads were made for steam engine driven carriages and wagons. Later came this is the means of transportation: bicycle, aeroplane, ships, bullock cart, bus, trains. Automobiles such as motor cars, trucks, and buses, motorized boats, and ships were used as a means of transport on water. The earlier years of 1900 saw the development of aeroplanes. These were later improved to carry passengers and goods. Electric trains, monorail, supersonic airplanes, and spacecrafts are some of the contributions of the 20th century. Figure 10.1 shows some of the different modes of transport. Place them in the correct order from the earliest modes of transport to the most recent. Are there any of the earlier modes of transport that are not in use today? 10.2 How wide is this desk? How did people know how far they have traveled? How will you know whether you can walk all the way to your school or whether you will need to take a bus or a rickshaw to reach your school? When you need to purchase something, is it possible for you to walk to market? How will you know the answer to this question? It is often important to know how far a place is so that we can have an idea how we are going to reach that place. Walk, take a bus or a train or a ship, an aeroplane or even a spacecraft. Sometimes there are objects whose length and width we need to know. In Paheli and Buzo's classroom, They are large desks which are to be shared by two students. Paheli and Bojo share one desk but frequently end up objecting that the other is using a large share of desk. On the teacher's suggestion, they decide to measure the length of the desk, make a marker exactly in the middle of it, draw a line to separate the two halves of the desk. Both Paheli and Bojo were very fond of playing gilli and danda with their friends. Bojo brought a set of gilli and danda with him. Here is how they tried to measure the length of the desk using the danda and the gilli. Figure 10.2. The desk seems to be having a length equal to the two danda length and two length of gilli. Drawing a line in the middle of the desk leaves each of them happy with the half of the desk equal to danda and a gilli in length. After a few days, the marked line gets wiped out. Bozo now has a new set of gilli and danda, as he lost his old one. Here is how the length of the desk seemed to be measured using the gilli and danda. Figure 10.3. Measuring of length of desk with a gilli and danda. Measuring of length desk with a different set of gilli and danda. Hello. Now when measured with a new set of gilli and danda, the desk length seemed to be about 2 danda length, 1 gilli length with a small length still left out. This is a less than 1 gilli length. Now what you would suggest Paheli and Bozo do? To measure the length of the whole desk, can they use a cricket wicket and a balls to measure the length of? How do you think that this might create similar problems? One thing that they could do is to take a small length of string and mark 2 points on it. This will be string length. They can measure the width of the desk in string lengths. Figure 10.2. How can they use the string to measure difference less than the length of the string? They can hold the string and make it half and 1/4 and 1/8 string length. Now perhaps the Paheli and Bozo can measure the exact length of the desk using the string. You would say that they should use the scale in their geometry box and solve the problem. Yes, of course, Bozo has been reading about the way people used to measure distance. Measuring the length of desk with a string length. Before such standard scales were made, and he has been trying to follow different methods of measuring distance. There are so many occasions when we come across a need to measure length and distance. Tailor need to measure the length of the cloth or to know if it is enough to stitch a kurta. A carpenter needs to measure the height width of the cupboard to know how much wood he would need to make its door. The farmer needs to know the length and breadth of the area of his land to know how much seed he can sow and how much water would be needed for his crops. Suppose you are asked how tall are you? You want to tell the length of the straight line from the top of your head to heel of your foot. How long is this room? How wide is this desk? How far is this from Delhi to Lucknow? How far away is the moon from the earth? All these questions have one thing in common. They all concern distance between two places. The two places may be close enough like the two ends of table, or they may be apart like Jammu and Kanyakumari. Let us do a few measurements to see what exactly we need to do when we measure distance or length. 10.3 some measurements. Activity 1. Work in groups and each of you would do this activity one by one using your foot as using as a unit of length, measure the length and breadth of the classroom. It is possible that while measuring this too may find some part remains to be measured as it is smaller than your foot. Use string to measure the length of a part of your foot as you did before. Record your observation in table 10.1. Table 10.1 measuring the length and breadth of the classroom. Name of the student, length of the classroom, width of the classroom. Activity 2. Work in a group and each of you use your handspan as a unit to measure the width of the table or a desk in the classroom. Figure 10.5. Measuring the width of the table with a handspan. Here too, you may find that need length equal to your handspan and then the fraction of this string length to make the measurement. Record all the observation in table 10.2. We see that the measurement means the comparison of unknown quantity. Table 10.2 measuring the width of the table. Who measured the width of the table? Number of the handspans with some quantity as non-quantity. This non-fixed quantity is called unit. The result of a measurement is expressed in two parts. One part is the number, the other part is the unit of the measurement. For example, if in activity 1 the length of the room is found to be 12 lengths of your foot, then 12 is the number and foot is the length. Is the unit selected for the measurement. Now study all the measurements recorded in table 10.1 and 10.2. Are all the measurements for the room using everybody's foot equal? Are everybody measurement by handspan of the width of the table equal? Perhaps the result would be different as a result of your handspan and that of your friends may not be same. Similarly, the length of the foot of the length of the foot of the may be slightly different for all students. Therefore, when you tell your measurements using your handspan or length of foot as a unit or length, they will not be able to understand how big the actual length is unless they know the length of your handspan or foot. We see therefore that some standard units of measurement are needed that do not change from person to person. 10.4 Standard units of measurement. In ancient times, the length of the foot of the width of the finger and the distance of a step were commonly used as a different units of the measurement. The people of the Indus Valley civilization must have used very good measurements of length because we use evidence in evacuation in perfectly symmetrical construction. A cubit as the length from the elbow to the fingertips are used in ancient Egypt and was also accepted as a unit of length in other parts of the world. People also use the foot as a unit of length in different parts of the world. The length of the foot and the varied people also use the foot as a unit of the length in different parts of the world. The length of the foot also foot used varied slightly from region to region. People measure a yard of a cloth by the distance between the end of the outstretched arm and their chin. The Romans measured with their face or steps. In ancient India, some length measurements were used in angul, finger, or a muthi, fist. Even today, we can see flower sellers use their forearm or a unit of length of garlands in many towns of India. Many such body parts continue to be used as a unit of length when convenient. However, everyone's body parts could be slightly different size. This must be this must have caused confusion in the measurement. In 1790, the French created the standard unit of measurement called the metric system. For the sake of the uniformity, scientists all over the world accepted a set of standard units of measurement. The standard in the system of unit now used is known as the International Standards of Units (SI units). The SI units of length is a meter. A meter scale is shown in figure 10.6. Also shown in is that the 15 centimeter scale in your geometry box. Each meter is divided into 100 equal divisions called centimeters. Each centimeter has 10 equal parts called millimeters. Thus, 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeter, 1 centimeter is equal to 10 millimeter. For measuring the large distance, meter is now not convenient unit. We define a large unit of the length. It is called kilometer. 1 kilometer is equal to 1000 meter. Now we can repeat all our measurement activities using a standard scale and measure in SI units. Before we do that, we need to know the correct way of measuring length and distance. 10.5 correct measurement of length. In our daily life, we use various types of measuring devices. We use a metric scale. Figure 10.6, a metric scale 15 centimeter and a 15 centimeter scale. This is metric scale and 15 centimeter scale. For measuring length, a tailor uses a tape, whereas a cloth merchant uses a metric roll. For measuring the length of an object, you must choose a suitable device. You cannot measure the width of a tree or a size of your chest using a meter scale. For instance, measuring a tape is more suitable for this. For small measurements such as the length of your pencil, you can use 15 centimeter scale from your geometry box. In taking measurement of the length, we need to take care of the following. First, place the scale in contact with the object along its length as shown in figure 10.7. Second, in some scales the ends may be broken. You may not be able to see the zero mark clarity. Figure 10.8a. In such cases, you should avoid. Figure 10.7a. Figure 10.7b. Taking measurement from zero mark of the scale, you can use any other full mark of the scale, say 1 centimeter, figure 10.8. Then you must subtract the reading of this mark from the reading of the other end. For example, in figure 10.8b, the reading of the at one end is 1 centimeter and at the other end it is 14.3 centimeter. Therefore, the length of the object is 14.3 minus 1.0 centimeter is equal to 13.3 centimeter. Correct position of the eye is also important for taking the measurement. You must be exactly in front of the point where the measurement is to be taken, as shown in figure 10.9. Position B is the correct position of the eye. Now note that from position B the reading is 7.5. From position A and C reading may be different. The B is the proper position of the eye for the taking reading of the scale. This is B, this is A, this is C. Directly seeing the number. Activity 3. Measure the height of your classmate using a hand span and then by using a meter scale. For this, ask your classmate to stand with his back against a wall. Make a mark on the wall exactly above this head. Now measure the distance from the floor to this mark on the wall with your hand span and then with a meter scale. Let all the other students measure this length in a similar way. Record all the observation in table 10.3. Table 10.3 measurement of the height. Who measured the height? Height is height in hand span, height in centimeter. Study carefully result obtained by the different students. The result in column 2 may be different from each other as the length of the hand span may be different for different students. Add the results in column 3 where the measurements are done using a standard scale. The results may close to each other, but are they exactly equal? If not, why do you think there is a difference? After everybody is using the same scale and not different hand span. This could be due to the small errors in taking observation. In higher classes, we will learn about the importance of knowing and handling such errors in measurement. 10.6. We cannot measure the length of the curved line directly by using a meter scale. We can use thread to measure the length of a curved line. Activity 10. Activity 4. Use a thread to measure the length of a curved line AB. 10. Put a knot on the thread near the one end of its end. Place this knot on the point A. Now place a small portion of the thread along the line, keeping it taut using your fingers and thumb. Hold the thread of this end point with one hand. Using the other hand, stretch a little more portion of the thread along the curved line. Figure 10.10. Measuring the length of the curved line with a thread. This process till the other end B of curved line is reached. Make a mark on thread where it is touched the end B. Now stretch the thread along the meter scale. Measure the length between the knot in the beginning and in the final mark on the thread. This gives the length of the curved line AB. We said that we need a lot of care to ensure that we are measuring the distance and length correctly, and we need some standard units and devices with which we measure the distance and can convey our results to others. Moving things as activity 5. Think of some objects you have seen recently. List them in table 10.4. You may include a school bag, a mosquito, a table, a people sitting on chair, or a people moving about. This may also have a butterfly, a dog, a cow, a rubber hand, a small baby, a fish in water, a house, a factory, a piece of stone, a horse, a ball, a bat, a moving train, a sewing machine, a wall clock, or the hands of clock. Make your list as large as you can. Which of these are moving? Which are at rest? Table 10.4. Object at rest and in motion. Object at rest, object in motion. How did you decide whether the object is in motion or at rest? You might have noticed that at some place after something while the table is at the same place, or on the very basis you may have decided whether an object is rest or in motion. Let us look at the motion of an ant closely. Activity 6. Select a place where you find ants. Spread a large sheet of white paper on the ground and keep a little sugar on it. Ants are likely to be attracted to the sugar, and you will find many ants crawling on the sheets of paper soon. For any one ant, try and make a small mark with a pencil near its position when it had just crawled onto the sheets of paper. Figure 10.11. Keep the marking its position. After a few seconds, a sheet moves around on sheets of paper. After some time, shake the paper free of the sugar and the ants connect the different points you have marked. This arrows to show the direction in which the ants was. This is the ants of the motion of the ants. Moving, each points have marked shows where the ants move to in the intervals of few seconds. Motions seems to be some kind of change in the position of an object with time, isn't it? Activity 5. Where did you have placed objects like clock, sewing machine, or an electric fan in our grouping of objects? Are these objects moving from one place to another? No. Do you notice movement in any of other parts? The blades of a fan or the hands of a clock? How they are moving? Is there movement similar to that of an ant or train? Let us now look at some types of motion to help us to understand these differences. Types of motion. You may have observed the motion of a vehicle in a straight road, march past of a soldier in a parade, or the falling of a stone. Figure 10.12. What kind of motion is this? Sprinters in a 100-meter race also move along a straight track. Can you think of more such examples of soundings? Some examples of rectilinear motion. In all these examples, we see that objects move along a straight line. This type of motion is called rectilinear motion. Activity 7. Take a stone, tie a thread to it, and reel it with one hand. Observe the motion of the stone. We see that the stone moves along a circular path. In this motion, the distance of the stone from your hand remains the same. This type of motion is called circular motion. This is circular motion. Some objects in circular motion. This fan. The motion of point marked on a blade of an electric fan or hands of a clock is examples of circular motion. Electric fan or the clock by themselves are not moving from one place to another, but the blades of the fan rotate, and so do the hands of this clock. If we mark and point anywhere on the blades of a fan or on the hands of the clock, the distance of this point from the center of the fan or clock will remain the same as any they rotate. In some cases, objects repeat its motion after some time. This type of motion is called periodic motion. Take the stone tied with a string that you used in activity 7. Now hold the string in your hand and let the stone hang from it. This is a pendulum. Pull the stone to one side with the other hands and let it go. Now the pendulum is in motion. It is an example of periodic motion. A branch of free moving to and fro of a child on strings of a guitar, or the membrane of the drums, tabla being played, are all examples of periodic motion, wherein these are periodic motions. Examples of periodic motion. Tabla is periodic motion. Periodic examples of periodic motion. Object. When object part of it repeats its motion after fixed interval time. Did you observe a sewing machine as a part of activity 5? You must have observed that it remains at the same location while it moves with the circular motion. It also has a needle that moves up and down continuously as long as the wheel rotates, isn't it? This needle is undergoing periodic motion. Have you observed closely the motion of ball along the ground? The ball is rolling on the ground, rotating as well as moving forward along the ground. Thus, the ball undergoes a rectilinear motion as well as rotational motion. Can you think of others example where objects undergo combination of different types of motion? We did many measurement activities and discussed some kinds of motion. We saw the motion is a change in the direction in the position of an object with time. The change in its position can be determined through distance measurements. This allows us to know how fast or slow a motion is. The movement of a snail on a ground, a butterfly flying from flower to flower, a river flowing, an airplane flying, moon flying, going around the earth, and blood flowing inside our bodies show that there is a motion everywhere around us. Keywords: circular motion, distance measurement motion, periodic motion, rectilinear motion, SI units of measurements. Summary: different modes of transport we used to go from one place to another. In ancient times, people used the length of a foot, width of a finger, the distance of a step as units of measurement. This caused confusion and a need to develop a uniform system of measurement arose. Now we use international system of units, SI units. This is accepted all over the world. Meter is the unit of length in SI units.